I need you to know that I haven't always been a CEO. I haven't always been the guy with answers. There was a time when I was completely lost. When I was younger, I was desperate. I was waking up every single morning with this heavy feeling on my chest. You know that one, that tight anxiety that hits you the second you open your eyes. I had a bachelor's degree in engineering. On paper, I was successful. My parents were proud. Society said I had made it. But the truth, I didn't like it. I actually hated it. And I had this terrifying mindset creeping in. Okay, David, this is it. This is the rest of your life. And you have to live unhappy. Life working on something you don't love because that's what adults do and told you to do. But deeper, that's you hating the job. I was craving stability. I was craving peace. We live in a world that sells anxiety 24/7. You open your phone, you scroll through Instagram, LinkedIn, and there's this 20-year-old millionaires trading crypto, launching startups, traveling to Dubai, and start thinking, I'm failing. I have to be a billionaire by my 30s or I'm nobody. That's pressure. And that pressure breaks people. It broke me. And I remember looking at my bank account, rent was coming up. The number in the account was lower than the actual number on the rent that I have to pay that month. And at that moment, that dark night, you sit on the edge of your bed and you say, shit. The truth is, it took me a lot of internal diving deep to actually figure this out. And I have to stop looking there for a job to save me and start looking in here to figure out what I was going to actually build. And it wasn't until then that I was able to start putting pieces together. And I realized something changed my life. And I want you to hear this. The question isn't if you will face a professional crisis. The question is, how will you respond when it arrives? Because trust me, it will arrive. And maybe it's arriving to you now. Maybe that's why you're watching this video. Maybe that's why the algorithm put this in front of you. Maybe you just got fired. Maybe you just feel stuck. Maybe you just feel like you're shouting into a void and nobody's hearing you. I'm going to give you an engineering blueprint to rebuild your life. Over the last decade, I have met hundreds, maybe thousands of professionals, high-level executives, fresh graduates, people in the middle of their careers. And when they hit that wall, that moment of I'm lost, I notice a pattern. And there's three scenarios that happen when you're in crisis. Almost everybody chooses the first two. And that's why they stuck for years. Only 1% chooses the third. Let me break it down to you. Because you need to identify where are you right now. So, first scenario, don't fall into frustration. Win the game. And don't let the game win you. This is the default human reaction of fear. You get fired, or you realize you hate your boss, or your brain goes into survival mode. You think, I need to get out. I need money. I need safety. So what do? You open LinkedIn, you apply to jobs you are overqualified for, or you apply for jobs that you're underqualified for. You apply for jobs that you hate. You're throwing spaghetti through a wall, hoping something sticks. But here's the brutal truth about the job market in 2026. Desperation has a smell. And recruiters can smell it from miles away. When you act from panic, when you make bad decisions, when you accept the lowball offers, you ignore the red flags. You're playing the game exactly how the systems want to play it. The system loves desperate people, desperate candidates, because desperate candidates are cheap labor. Stop. Stop applying. Close the laptop. You're digging a hole. You don't need a job today. You need a strategy today, right now. If you panic, the game wins and you lose. Scenario number two, you bet against the market. This one is trickier because it feels productive. This is where you do everything right. You polish your resume, you use the standard format, you write a generic cover letter that says, Dear hiring manager, I'm passionate about blah, blah, blah. You wait for a job opening to post on a website, you follow the rules. But here's the problem with following the rules. Everybody is following them too. When a job is posted online, you're competing against 500, maybe 1,000 over other people. You're even competing over a ghost job posting. You're competing with internal candidates. And do you know what the average result is in today's market? Rejection. Or worse, ghosting. If you want exceptional results, if you want the job that pays 50% more than that gives you that freedom that you're looking for, that excites you every morning, that you cannot act like the herd, you have to bet against the market. The market says, wait for permission, wait for an opening. You say, no, I'm going to create that opportunity. The market says, be loyal to your company and stay 5 years with us. With a poorly salary, they treat you bad. You say, no, I'm a mercenary for my own future. I will lead where I'm valued, where I know what I am, the skills that I have. I manage my future. I decide where I want to be. Scenario 2 is a trap. It keeps you safe, but it keeps you small. Scenario 3, do your freaking research. And finally, this is the freaking magic where everything happens. Imagine the scenario, an opportunity finally comes, the great opportunity, the dream company, the role that could change your lives, your family's life. You get the interview, you walk in, and they ask you, so what do you know about us? And you say, well, I look at the website and I saw that you guys do marketing. That's it. You blew it. You wasted your shot. The sniper doesn't look at the website. The sniper does the freaking research. When I say research, I mean like you gotta become an expert, an investigator. Before you walk into that room, you should know more about their problem than they do. You've listened to every podcast that the CEO has recorded in the last 3 years, every article. You have read their annual reports. You know their revenue is down 10% in the APAC region. You know their competitor just launched a product that it's killing them. So when you walk in, you just don't say, please hire me. You actually have data in front of them. You say, listen, I know your CEO posted an interview last week. He mentioned you're struggling with retention in the Asian market. And in my last role, I fixed that exact problem. Here's a three-page document. Here's how I should do this. I will fix it for the next 90 days in this way. This is scenario 3. This is being prepared before the opportunity arrives, because luck is just what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you skip the preparation, don't cry about having luck. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do you actually do it? This is where most people actually get scammed. You go online, you watch TikToks, you buy courses from career gurus, the people that have the solution. And what do they tell you? They give you the same generic recipe for everybody. Optimize your LinkedIn, use keyword, use this resume template, network with 5 people a day. This is why it doesn't work. This is why you're all frustrated, because you cannot give the same advice to someone in scenario 1, you give to someone in scenario 2. You're broke, you can pay rent, and you're panicking. Telling you to build a personal brand over 6 months is insulting. It's dangerous advice. You need trash. You need cash flow. You need a survival job now while you build the dream. If you're in scenario 2, stuck in a boring corporate job, polish your CV isn't going to help you. You're already employed. You don't need to look employable. You need to look expensive. You need leverage. The gurus sell you a hammer, but your career is a complex machine. Sometimes you need a hammer, but sometimes you need a screwdriver. Sometimes you need a wrench, and sometimes you need to burn the machine down and build a new one. So I want you to forget the generic advice. I want you to give a system, an operating system for you. Here's the 4 step we use in Atlas. Step 1, define your employee identity. Who are you in for the market? Most people answer this with their past. I worked at Google for 3 years. I was a manager. No, this is history. This is not your identity. You're not Google. You're not Amazon. Your identity is what you sold. So change it. Make it different. Say, I'm the one who delivers for. Don't say, I'm a sales manager. Boring, commodity, low price. Say, I'm a sales leader who takes B2B SaaS companies, startups from 1 million to 10 million. My previous experience has led me to where I am, to my expertise and seniority. And now I have that value. And that's what I'm bringing. That's my difference among others. When you define your identity by the money you make for others, you become an investment, not a cost. And step 2, the brutal inventory. What's in your warehouse? If you were a business, your skills are your inventory, and you need to do a brutal audit. Look at your skills. Are they obsolete? If your top skill is managing Excel spreadsheets, and the market is moving to AI-driven data modeling, your inventory is ruining on yourself. You're selling VHS tapes in a Netflix world. Don't lie to yourself. Write down your skills. Check the market price for those skills. If your price is low, upgrade the inventory. Spend this weekend learning the tool that doubles your rate. Step 3, match your profile. This is where physics comes in. You can be the fastest swimmer in the world, like Michael Phelps. But if it drops you in a swamp, you aren't going anywhere. You'll drown. You need clear water to find the ecosystem where your specific identity is unfair advantage. Ask yourself, are you a wartime general? Do you love chaos, speed, breaking stuff? Then go for a startup. Do not go to a bank. A bank will fire you for being too aggressive. What region? Where is the money flowing? Don't try to be a crypto expert in a town of haystack. Go where the man is. Stop trying to convince people to like you. Go where you are already celebrated. Step 4, know your terms. Make sure you know what you want. This sounds simple, but 90% of the people walk into negotiation with no standard. They just hope the offer is nice. If you don't know your price, the market will assign you the lowest possible one because they want revenue. You need a walk-away list. Write it down. Put it on your wall. Put it somewhere that you can see it and believe it. I will not accept less than 100K a year. I will not work in an office 5 days a week because I don't like that. I will not work in a toxic environment or for a toxic boss. Pick your red flags and don't go for them. When you have standards, you project authority. When you have no standards, you project desperation. And in business, the person who is willing to walk away always holds the power. I want you to stay back to where we started, to the beginning of this video. I told you a story about how I hated my engineering degree. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought I had made a huge mistake in my life. I felt like a failure. But looking back now, I'm sitting in here talking to you, and I realized that degree taught me the most important lesson of my life. When I was broke, tired, and lost, when rent was coming up, and I was scared, I stopped waiting for a job to save me. I stopped waiting for hope. I started engineering my career. I engineered my identity. I engineered my skills. I engineered my network. And the moment shift from victim to architect, everything changed. The bank account changed. My career changed. And I founded Atlas Talent Solutions, a company that will not only place talent, but will tell you the truth about how the market works, how HR actually works. Most important, how to get a good job. But most importantly, the peace finally came. Because peace doesn't come from a secure job. Let me tell you that. There's not such things anymore as a secure job anymore. Peace comes from knowing that you're an asset. Peace comes from knowing that you can handle whatever the market throws at you. Because you built a foundation that cannot be break. So here's my challenge to you. You're not lost. You're just in the design phase for your next chapter. But you cannot stay in the design phase forever. The blueprints are done. You have the scenarios. You have the system. Now, you have to pick up the hammer. Don't let another year go by waiting for permission. Don't let another hiring manager determine your self-worth. Take the pieces you have, even the ones you think you're useless, like I did, and build something undeniable. If you're ready to stop hoping and start building, if you're ready to engineer the career and the life you actually deserve, then let's do this together. I'm David Rivera. Welcome to your new beginning.